Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On the face of it, we're here tonight to celebrate courage in all its current manifestations, to recognize heroes of today, but also to remember heroes from yesterday. It is our continuing solemn duty to celebrate those who came before, those who fought for the freedoms that we ourselves did not earn, and recognize those today who are fighting to preserve, protect, and then pass on those very freedoms. But I submit there is more to recognize tonight. Tonight must also be about clarifying what courage really does mean for us in today's world. I invite us all to reflect on the true and profound meaning of this word. Often we look at heroes in a historical context. Today's lens superimposed on yesterday's reality. We know what they faced, we know how they responded, and we know the outcome. Well, they did not. At the very moment these humans acted heroically, they did not know the outcome. Whether they would indeed succeed and overcome adversity, or whether they were about to fail, lose, perhaps even their lives. They faced a fearsome, paralyzing abyss, and they acted. In some cases, immediate threats provoke instinctive responses. The danger comes so quickly, one can be denied the freedom to even feel fear. We see a fearless reaction in the moment. But I submit, courage is feeling the fear, tasting the injustice, feeling in your bones the insidious oppression flowing through you, knowing the potential consequences, and yet acting despite it all. Honored guests, that is courage. Different, distinct from heroism. Courage is a choice, a decision, a conscious act to stand firm, the possible consequences be damned. To stand with one's principles, in spite of and despite the fear. It was a choice for King Leonidas and the 300 Spartans to stand firm, hold the line, confront their fears, and say, Oxi, save Western democracy, save the Western world, preserve democracy. It was a choice for Prime Minister Metaxas and others in 1941 to stand firm, hold the line, confront their fears, and say, Oxi, and save the Western world, preserve democracy. And these men and women of courage we are honoring tonight, standing firm, holding the line, confronting their fears, burdened and oppressed by fears seen, not yet armed with the outcome unseen. They too are saying, Oxi. Now, why does tonight's celebration fit so well here in Washington, D.C.? What started in ancient Greece so many years ago was given the oxygen of rebirth in the United States nearly 250 years ago. The lights of democracy had been extinguished for a very long time. Lest we forget, dare we forget. Before the United States was created, the world was mostly ruled. After the United States was created, the world started to be governed. A profound difference. To have designed with such transcendent mastery the architecture of human governance that still endures, still enables, still empowers, an institutional framework that, despite endless challenges, still encourages human possibility. The Constitution of the United States, with its roots firmly traced back to ancient Greece. But, there's usually a but. Purveyors of hate wrapped in self-righteousness are a tangible threat today. Encouraging others to vest blind obedience in a bad person, not a good principle, as we've seen throughout history. We all have to deal with them in our daily lives and beyond, have the courage to confront our fears, the fears they provoke in us, resisting the sometimes overwhelming desire to give up. No, I will not give in. Oxi. No, I will not stand down. Oxi. No, I will stand firm as the winds of injustice blow. Oxi. Now, for 12 years, due to the vision and relentless work of the Manatos family, my friends, this event has honored courage seen. But yet, I think we should also take this time to honor courage unseen. We see on today's evening news, tonight's honorees standing firmly and defiantly. We see that courage. What we cannot see is the same quality of courage exercised daily by the young and the elderly, leaving the now blown-up rubble that had been a home for generations in Ukraine, carrying the remnants of those homes on their backs in a satchel, but doing so defiantly, knowing they are fighting to pass on what was given to them: autonomy, freedom, democracy. Their courage is no less real, no less admirable, although unseen. We see a few seconds of a clip on the evening news of women marching openly and defiantly for their rights and dignity in Iran. But what we cannot see is the courage they must have hour after day, after week, after month, continuing their protest, whilst knowing others who have done so were targeted for harsh reprisal. And that courage is no less staggering, although unseen. Now, of course, not all courage is on a battlefield. Courage is deeply personal, and we often confront that of which we are most afraid in our souls in the deep dark of the night. Now, I would like to tell you a personal story. Several years ago, a very prominent organization approached us to help fund a veranda within a new building that was being constructed. We agreed. But at the time, we said we would do it in the name of a deserving soul, not knowing at the time who that soul would be. Several months later, the CEO of one of our businesses, a man named Achim Burma, tragically passed away. One of the last times I spoke to him, he told me that he was told to amputate his left arm to prevent the cancer from spreading, which he then did bravely and stoically. He then passed away a few weeks later. A man who gave everything, asked for nothing, courageously held the line for many difficult years, never complained, always smiled, led from the front, stood firm, fought his fears with words and actions. Achim, my friend, choking in injustice with the disease that took him too early, fought that disease with valor and vigor all the way to the end. All courage unseen. How fitting to be giving this speech here, today, in the same building where the Achim Burma Peace Veranda stands. for that organization was the United States Institute of Peace. That balcony is behind you all tonight. Courage seen. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let us try to emulate them. Let us try to emulate it. Both courage seen and courage unseen. Thank you.